Have you ever wondered what happens when we stop doing something that's been part of our lives for so long? Something that's been deeply connected to our health and well-being? Now, I'm not talking about giving up your morning walks or your favorite hobbies. I'm talking about something that, as we age, many of us slowly start to distance ourselves from: intimacy. You see, it's not just about the physical pleasure, though that's certainly a part of it. It's about the far-reaching effects on your body, mind, and even your emotional health when intimacy takes a back seat. Now, I know it's easy to think, well, I'm older, I've lived a full life, and maybe sex just isn't that important anymore. But here's the thing. You might be underestimating the powerful role intimacy plays in your overall health, especially as you age. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you've lived a long, full life, and now, in your golden years, your days feel a little quieter. Maybe the kids have moved out, and your social circle is smaller than it used to be. You might start noticing that the things that once seemed effortless, like staying active, feeling engaged, or even getting a good night's sleep, are starting to feel a bit more difficult. Now, I want you to think about your relationships. Have you ever noticed that the connection you share with your partner, your close friends, or even the people you care about has started to shift a little? Sometimes, when intimacy fades, so does the closeness we once had. And that's more than just emotional. It can affect your health in ways you may not even realize. What's fascinating is that science is now showing that when we stop being physically intimate, we might be putting ourselves at risk for some serious health problems. And I'm not just talking about heart disease or sleep problems, though those can be part of it. Intimacy is connected to so much more than we realize, and cutting it out could unknowingly trigger changes in your body that you might think are just part of aging, but are actually much deeper than that. For instance, did you know that engaging in regular, healthy sexual activity helps your body stay strong and resilient? It's true. When you don't engage in sexual activity, your body begins to miss out on certain natural benefits, like the release of hormones that help regulate your immune system, reduce stress, and keep you mentally sharp. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating long-term health benefits that last well into old age. One of the first health risks we often overlook is how not being intimate can lead to higher stress levels. As we get older, we're naturally more prone to stress, and without intimacy, that pressure can build up in unexpected ways. You might notice you're feeling more anxious, or perhaps you've started experiencing more trouble with sleep. Intimacy, whether it's with a partner or even through close connections, releases endorphins, the body's natural feel-good hormones, which can help combat stress and improve your mood. But when that part of your life slows down, stress can start to accumulate, leading to trouble sleeping, feeling irritable, or even developing higher blood pressure. Think about it like this. When you were younger, how often did you find yourself laughing, chatting, or even just spending time with someone close to you? That type of closeness isn't just comforting, it's healthy. As we age, the physical connection of intimacy creates a different but equally important kind of bonding. And that bond helps protect your mental and emotional health. Without it, we can feel more isolated, even when we're surrounded by people we love. But here's the most surprising part. Intimacy can even help protect your heart. Yes, you heard me right. There's a connection between sex and heart health that many of us don't realize. Studies have shown that people who are more sexually active tend to have better heart health. Why? Because sexual activity gets your blood flowing, increases your heart rate, and helps your cardiovascular system function at a higher level. Over time, if we stop engaging in intimacy, we may find ourselves at greater risk for heart disease and stroke. Let's take a real-life scenario here. Imagine a couple, both in their 70s, who have been together for decades. They've raised children, built a life together, and now, in their later years, they've begun to lose that physical connection. Maybe it's because of health issues. Maybe it's because they've gotten used to a more comfortable way of life. But the intimacy they once shared is no longer part of their routine. Over time, the emotional closeness begins to wane, and without realizing it, the physical health of one or both partners begins to decline. Maybe one partner experiences more fatigue, higher stress levels, or even starts showing signs of depression. The other partner might find themselves struggling with a drop in self-esteem or feeling more disconnected from their spouse. Without intimacy, that feeling of partnership, of being close, supported, and cared for diminishes. and so too does the motivation to stay active, both physically and mentally. So, as surprising as it might seem, stopping intimate activity could unintentionally lead to some pretty serious consequences for your health. But don't worry, you don't need to feel overwhelmed by this. It's never too late to make small changes that can help reintegrate intimacy into your life, even in little ways, so you can keep your health, your relationships, and your happiness intact. That said, let's move on and talk about another unexpected risk: how giving up sex can actually affect your sleep patterns. Many seniors start having trouble with sleep as they get older, and there's a hidden connection here that might surprise you. When intimacy is part of your life, it can help regulate your sleep. Why? Because sexual activity releases hormones that promote relaxation and deep sleep. But without that activity, your body might struggle to fall into a deep, restful sleep, leaving you feeling exhausted the next day. So, as we explore the health risks of giving up sex in old age, remember, this is about much more than just intimacy. It's about preserving your overall well-being, your heart health, your stress levels, and even your sleep. And there's hope, my friend. With a little effort and awareness, you can reverse some of these effects and reclaim the vitality that you might think is slipping away. In the next part, we'll dive into the mental and emotional effects of cutting off intimacy and how it can sometimes lead to feelings of loneliness or even cognitive decline. Stay with me because we're just getting started, and there's so much more to explore. Now, let's talk about something a little less obvious, but just as important: the emotional and mental effects of giving up intimacy. It's one of those things we don't always see coming, especially when we're focused on the physical side of health. But trust me, the emotional toll can be just as significant, and it often sneaks up on us in subtle ways. Think about it. As we age, we tend to slow down, and sometimes that means we stop making the effort to connect in the same ways we did when we were younger. It could be that we're just too tired. Maybe we've grown a bit more self-conscious about our bodies, or we feel like it's just not necessary anymore. I've heard so many people say, "We're not as close physically anymore, but that's okay. We're still close in other ways." While that might be true on the surface, what's really happening is that the absence of physical intimacy often leads to a slow, creeping sense of emotional distance. And before you know it, that closeness you once had starts to feel like a distant memory. The bond you shared with your partner becomes less tangible, less meaningful, and even though you may still love each other deeply, something begins to shift. It's not just about sex, it's about losing a crucial piece of emotional connection that sustains us throughout life. And this, my friend, isn't just about loneliness or a lack of affection. Research has shown that a decrease in intimacy can also have a very real impact on our mental health. You see, when we stop being physically close with someone, our brains don't receive those much-needed doses of oxytocin, the hormone that helps us feel connected and emotionally safe. It's the same hormone that makes us feel in love, but also the one that promotes trust, security, and emotional warmth. Without those regular doses of oxytocin, our minds can start to feel like they're in a bit of a fog. We might begin to experience symptoms of depression or anxiety. Even something as simple as holding hands or cuddling with a partner releases oxytocin, making us feel more relaxed, calm, and at ease. But when we stop engaging in those small, intimate gestures, it's like our emotional well-being takes a hit. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a couple, both in their early 80s. They've been together for more than 50 years. Their lives were once full of energy, laughter, and spontaneous moments of affection. But over time, their connection has faded. Maybe their health isn't what it used to be, or perhaps the demands of daily life have just worn them down. They stop hugging as much. They stop holding hands. Their conversations, though still full of love, start to feel more like a routine than a genuine connection. Slowly, their emotional distance grows. For one partner, this lack of physical closeness might start to feel like a betrayal of sorts. It's not that they're upset with their spouse, it's more about a deep sense of longing for something that's no longer there. For the other partner, the emotional disconnect might feel less significant at first, but over time, they begin to notice the strain. They start feeling like they're not truly seen or understood anymore, even though they've spent a lifetime together. Now, here's the thing. This emotional void can take a toll on your cognitive health as well. Studies have shown that couples who engage in regular intimacy have a better sense of mental clarity and cognitive function as they age. Why? Because emotional intimacy stimulates brain activity and can even improve memory. When that emotional connection is lost, however, we may not realize that it could be contributing to symptoms of forgetfulness or trouble concentrating. It's a little like a muscle that's not being used, it begins to weaken. But here's the silver lining. The good news is that reconnecting doesn't have to be a monumental task. It doesn't mean that you have to completely overhaul your relationship or jump straight into intimacy if you're not ready. It can be as simple as starting with small gestures of affection, holding hands, sharing a quiet moment, or simply cuddling while you watch television. It's those little things that begin to rebuild the emotional connection, and in doing so, you're helping to protect your mental health too. And the impact isn't just on your partner, it's on you as well. When we start to feel more emotionally connected, we begin to feel more mentally sharp and clear. Our brains respond to those moments of intimacy by releasing dopamine, which improves mood and increases feelings of happiness and satisfaction. So, even if you're not engaging in sex, finding ways to reconnect emotionally can still provide many of the same benefits, helping to fight off feelings of isolation or sadness. But let's not forget, it's not just about the emotional connection with a partner. Our social connections also play a huge role in how we feel emotionally. As we age, the loss of close friends or the natural isolation that sometimes happens can contribute to a sense of loneliness. This is why it's so important to nurture those bonds, whether it's through intimacy or simply spending quality time with people who make you feel valued and understood. In fact, loneliness can be just as damaging to your health as physical inactivity or smoking. It can affect your immune system, increase your risk of heart disease, and even shorten your lifespan. This is why it's essential to keep nurturing the relationships that matter to you, whether they're romantic, familial, or friendships. You see, the heart and mind are just as connected as the body. When one suffers, the rest follows. And when one thrives, so does the rest. But here's the best part. No matter where you are in your journey, it's never too late to change course. Whether you're looking to reintroduce intimacy into your life or simply strengthen your emotional connections, small steps can lead to big changes. The good news is, you're never too old to find new ways of bonding, laughing, and connecting with those around you. Your health, both mental and physical, depends on it. So, in the next part, we'll explore another aspect of intimacy that many people don't realize: how sexual health can affect your physical strength and flexibility. You might be surprised by just how interconnected everything really is. Stay with me, because we're about to dive into another surprising health risk that's easier to fix than you think. Now, let's take a step back and look at how intimacy, even in older age, plays a vital role in maintaining your physical health. You may be wondering, how could something like sex or intimacy affect my strength or flexibility? Well, you might be surprised to learn just how closely connected these things really are. As we get older, it's natural to experience some loss of muscle mass and flexibility. Our joints become stiffer, and we may find that we don't have the same energy or mobility we once did. For many seniors, this can feel like a hard truth, but there's a simple and often overlooked connection between maintaining sexual health and preserving your body's strength and flexibility. Here's where it gets interesting. Engaging in regular sexual activity, or even simply maintaining physical closeness, helps keep your muscles and joints moving. Think about it like a workout, just like stretching before you exercise or going for a walk helps to keep your body limber. Intimacy can also be a form of physical exercise. The act itself involves movement, flexibility, and even strength muscles you may not be consciously aware of come into play during intimate moments. And just like any form of physical activity, this movement helps to keep your body more flexible, less stiff, and better able to maintain balance and strength as you age. In fact, when you stop engaging in these activities, you might not notice it right away, but your body can slowly lose some of its range of motion. Your joints might get stiffer, and your muscles might feel weaker or more fatigued. This can make it more challenging to do other daily activities, things like bending down to tie your shoes, getting out of bed in the morning, or even carrying groceries. What once felt effortless now feels like a strain. But the good news is that intimacy isn't just about stretching those muscles in the moment. It can help with overall body awareness and coordination. Sexual activity can improve circulation, which is key in keeping your muscles and joints healthy. Better blood flow means your muscles stay nourished and recover more easily from strain. And that's not all. Your cardiovascular health also benefits. That means better circulation to all parts of the body, including your brain and vital organs. Imagine this for a second. You've just had a moment of intimacy, and you're feeling relaxed and happy. That's because your body has released a bunch of good-for-you hormones, endorphins, oxytocin, and even testosterone. These are the same hormones that keep your muscles strong, your bones healthy, and your joints mobile. Without regular intimacy, you may notice that your body starts to feel a little more stiff and your energy levels drop. This doesn't mean you're getting old. It's just your body telling you it needs more activity, more movement, and more connection. But if you're thinking, "I'm too tired for that," or "I don't feel as active as I used to," don't worry. You don't have to jump back into things in the same way you might have in your younger years. Even small changes can help bring those benefits back. Even something as simple as engaging in light physical affection, like hugging, holding hands, or cuddling, can trigger the same positive hormones that help keep your body strong and healthy. And of course, when you feel more connected to your partner in these ways, you're more likely to feel motivated to stay active together, whether that means taking a walk after dinner or doing gentle stretches before bed. Think about it this way. Intimacy is a form of exercise for the body and mind. By maintaining this connection, you're actually helping yourself stay in better shape. You're preventing your muscles from becoming stiff, you're keeping your heart healthy, and you're boosting your energy levels. It's like having a mini workout, but with the added benefit of emotional bonding. And let's not forget about flexibility. As we age, our bodies naturally lose some of their flexibility. Your muscles and joints become less supple. This is especially true if we're not staying active. But when intimacy is part of the picture, you're engaging in movements that encourage flexibility. It doesn't matter if you're not having sex every day, but the act of being physically close and participating in those moments of connection helps maintain the body's range of motion. When your body stays flexible, everyday tasks like reaching for something on a high shelf or getting up from a chair become a lot easier. There's a reason that couples who maintain a physical connection tend to stay healthier, stronger, and more active as they age. They're using their bodies, they're staying in tune with how they feel, and they're keeping their muscles and joints engaged. If you're thinking that you're too old for all that, I encourage you to rethink it. Your body doesn't age in the same way when you continue to stay active, stay engaged, and keep moving in whatever way feels comfortable for you. You don't have to climb mountains or run marathons, but maintaining that connection, even in small ways, helps prevent physical decline and keeps you feeling youthful. Now, it's also important to mention that maintaining sexual health is just one part of the equation. Keeping your body strong and flexible also means paying attention to other aspects of your physical health. Eating right, staying hydrated, and exercising regularly will also play a huge role in maintaining your flexibility and strength. But adding intimacy into the mix can be that extra piece of the puzzle that makes all the difference. As we wrap up this part, I want you to remember that your health doesn't have to be defined by your age. In fact, it's often the things we doorstop doing that have the greatest impact. By maintaining intimacy, whether through sexual activity or simple acts of affection, you're giving yourself a gift that goes beyond just pleasure. You're giving yourself the gift of strength, flexibility, and vitality that will carry you through your golden years. And the best part? You're never too old to start. Well, we've covered quite a bit, haven't we? From the surprising risks of giving up intimacy, to the physical, mental, and emotional impacts it has on our lives as we age. Now, as we come to the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with one important thought. It's never too late to make a change. No matter where you are in life, no matter how much time you feel you have left, there's always room for small adjustments that can help you live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. And the beauty of it is, those small changes don't need to be drastic. They don't require a complete overhaul of your lifestyle. Sometimes, the most powerful changes come from the tiniest steps. Maybe it's starting with more physical touch in your relationship, holding hands, sharing a hug, or just sitting closer to someone you care about. Or perhaps it's deciding to take small, intentional steps to reconnect with your partner, even if it's through a simple conversation or a gentle touch. These little acts of intimacy can do wonders for your emotional, physical, and mental well-being. I know it can be easy to think that these things don't matter, especially as we get older. But they do. They truly do. The connection we share with others, whether it's romantic, platonic, or familial, can be one of the greatest contributors to our health and happiness. And when we nurture those connections, we're not only improving our relationships, we're improving ourselves. Remember, small changes can make all the difference. If you've learned anything today, I hope it's that intimacy, connection, and even just a little bit of physical affection are all ways we can keep our minds, bodies, and hearts healthy. You're never too old to start making these small adjustments. And believe me, those small steps will add up, leading to a more vibrant, fulfilled, and joyful life. If you've enjoyed this video, and if you found some inspiration here, I'd love for you to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means the world, and it helps us keep creating content that can truly make a difference. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to share them in the comments. We're all in this together, and I'd love to hear how you've been making small changes for a happier, healthier life. You're doing great. Remember, no matter what age you are, you have the power to make today the start of something positive. Here's to embracing every day with love, connection, and the joy of feeling truly alive. Keep moving forward, one step, one hug, one small change at a time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.